Good afternoon, everyone. As Melanie said, my name's John Tradewell. I'm currently Chief Executive at Staffordshire County Council. I'm also the Council's Social Value Champion. And I'm going to talk to you a bit about our approach to social value, how we've built that into our commissioning process. And again, it is going to be a double act, as Melanie says, with Steve Jones from Amey, who are our partners in our infrastructure project. Firstly, a bit about what the County Council is. And my reflection is that this has changed somewhat over the past 5 years or so. About 5 years ago, I'd have started this conversation by telling you something about what it is that the County Council does. So I'd tell you we were responsible for delivering education or social services or highways or transportation. But I think since then, we've realised that that isn't really what we are all about. Take education, for example. We've suddenly realised that actually schools provide education, not the County Council. I think we've also realised that parents have a much bigger impact on education than we do as a local authority. So to say we deliver education would be vastly overstating our role in it. But what we do have is influence. Influence in education, social services, infrastructure, many, many more areas. And rather than seeing our primary role as delivering services, doing things, we now view our role as being about influence, how we can influence and shape our area. And having made this mind shift, instead of focusing on what we do, we've started to focus on what we're trying to achieve. This has led to the vision that you see on the slide there. Our vision is for a connected Staffordshire where everyone has the opportunity to prosper, be healthy and happy. And we have 3 key outcomes that we're trying to achieve as part of this. We want everyone in Staffordshire to have the opportunity to have a good job and prosperity. We want everyone in Staffordshire to be healthy and happy and independent. And we want everyone to feel safer and more supported in their communities. That's what we're all about as an organisation. So our traditional approach to social value would be about achieving social value through procurement. We'd specify precisely what we want from a partner through the procurement process. That might be about we want more local purchasing, we want more local firms to be able to bid. And as you can see, we have had some success at that. It's not a bad approach, we have had some success. And these things do matter to us. We are an agricultural county. It does actually matter to us that our schools use local milk and local chickens. But I think there are 2 main problems with this sort of approach. Firstly, if we specify it, we've got to pay for it. I don't want to buy social value from our partners. I want them to give it to us for free. And secondly, if we tell people what we want from them, I think we undermine their intrinsic commitment. We all have these sort of values and beliefs. We all have motivations. What I value most highly might be local procurement, local produce. But what Steve and Amey might value might be more about getting disadvantaged youngsters into employment. Both achieve our outcomes, so why should I specify which one of those we want? If the partner has the flexibility to do what they want to do, what they value, it's much more likely that they're going to be committed to it, to do it well, not because of the contract, because it's what they want to do anyway. And this is now very much part of our commissioning approach. What you've seen on the screen there is our commissioning cycle. Very pretty, but the fundamental thing about this is that it starts with a question. What are we trying to achieve? We no longer start by telling people what we want or what we want to buy or specifying who does it for us. We just say where we want to get to, and then we leave it to our potential partners to work with us to co-design how we can get there together. And this has led us to commissioning services in a number of different ways than we used to do. So our social services now are provided by an NHS trust. Our education services are delivered through a joint venture entrust between ourselves and Capita. We've now appointed Kia to work with us as our property partner, and as you'll hear a bit more about, we're now working with Amey as our infrastructure partner in the County Council. Social value is built into those strategic partnerships, and we continue to learn how best to do this. For example, Entrust spend over £2 million a year on local food, but they don't do that because we tell them to do. They do that because it's part of what they are all about as an organisation. And the next step in our commissioning cycle is to take this further into something we call localism. We've got huge amounts of information about, well, if you live in Staffordshire, we know an awful lot about you. And we need to get better at using that information with the local knowledge we also have about our areas. If we can put the information together that we have with that local knowledge, we can commission on a local scale so we can deliver services that meet need with pinpoint accuracy. If we get this right, we can effectively deliver bespoke services to meet the needs of local people at lower cost than the traditional one-size-fits-all model. Now, the best example of this so far is how we've done this in relation to our Infrastructure Plus procurement process. Our starting point here was simply to bundle some infrastructure services together. So that's things like our highways maintenance, our country parks, put them all together in a bundle, put that out to the market and ask them how best they can manage these services to achieve our outcomes, to deliver jobs and growth in the county, to enhance resident satisfaction, and to be responsive to future demand. Won't pretend that's without risk. There are some sort of big challenges in doing it in that way. I'm fortunate to have some really talented procurement officers in the County Council who are willing to take that risk. And from my point of view, if it's a choice between risk and delivering our outcomes, I'll choose delivering our outcomes every time. So this gave us the potential for a massive contract, but we had this open invitation out there to potential partners to work with us through an extensive dialogue process to write the contract, to create that new relationship with us. It wasn't simply going to be a measured works contract, but it was actually a partnership built around achievement of the outcomes I've mentioned. And from day one, social value was a major part of our conversation. You know, these weren't services without any social value input already. We already had 20,000 volunteer hours in our country parks, for example. But the challenge was to take this to the next level, to find a partner who shared our values and who understood how getting infrastructure right could have such a major impact on jobs and prosperity for the county, on the health and well-being of our residents. A partner that saw social value not just as an add-on, but very much as part of business as usual. Steve.